Now, the Japan Rail Pass isn't the best option for most people anymore, but regional rail passes can still save you money, especially if you'll be spending time exploring one region of Japan. I'm Amy from Cakes with Faces, and today I'll tell you how regional rail passes work, where to get them, some of the best options for regional passes, which might give you some ideas for future Japan trips, and at the end of the video I'll show you how to make seat reservations at the ticket machine with a regional rail pass. And if you have any questions, as always, put them in the comments and I'll do my best to help you out. There are actually lots of regional passes, and many of them are only available for foreign visitors, so it's a nice little perk of being a foreign tourist. The best place to find out about them is on japanguide.com. They have a list and a map where you click on the region you're going to and it shows you which passes are available for that area. Japan Guide also has a really useful calculator where you enter the details of the long distance train journeys you'll be doing, and it tells you which passes would save you money. If you want to check train prices, you can find them on Google. I prefer to use the Japan Travel app by Navitime because sometimes Google gives you odd routes that you'd never actually take in real life. On the Navitime app, it's easier to find the quickest, cheapest or most direct routes. It has all the useful information like which platform to go to, just like Google, and the app has a filter for rail passes which includes regional passes, so you can put the filter on and it only shows you trains covered by the pass. Now, most of the regional passes are from Japan Railways. There are a few from other companies, but they're mostly JR, just like the JR pass for the whole of Japan. Japan Railways is made up of several companies that each handle a region of Japan. There's JR East, JR West and JR Central, JR Hokkaido, JR Shikoku and JR Kyushu. Each of them has an individual website that has details about the passes they offer in English. It's really useful and it can give you lots of ideas for places to go. So regional rail passes are just like the rail pass for the whole of Japan, but they cover a smaller area. You can have as many train rides as you want on train lines run by Japan Railways and the Shinkansen for a set number of days, and they have to be consecutive days. You don't have to make any reservations or bookings, you can just hop on the unreserved car. Just watch out for a few trains that are reservation only, like the Hayabusa, which is the fastest Shinkansen between Tokyo and Hokkaido. And if you want to make a seat reservation, you can. Some of the passes include as many seat reservations as you like, and some have a limited number included. I'll show you at the end of the video how to do that. Something to note is that most of the regional passes don't include the trip from Tokyo to the region they cover, assuming you're flying into Tokyo. So you might need to get an individual Shinkansen ticket from Tokyo to that region, but the regional passes can still be worth it. There's a video on my channel about how to book individual Shinkansen tickets. I'd recommend booking them on the official sites from Japan Railways, which are Smart EX for the Central and West regions, and the JR East website for East or North Japan and Hokkaido. And since I filmed that video, a little update is that Smart EX now accepts more credit cards than it used to. And there's lots of help with taking trains, booking tickets and rail passes in my Japan guidebook. It has a lot more practical tips than a normal travel guidebook. Basically, it's everything I wanted to know when I first went to Japan. You can get it from cakeswithfaces.co.uk with worldwide shipping. So now onto a selection of the most useful regional rail passes, and these might give you some ideas for future Japan trips. First, if you're going to the Sapporo Snow Festival, the JR East South Hokkaido Pass could be for you. It's one of the few regional passes that includes Tokyo and your trip up through Tohoku to Sapporo in Hokkaido. You can break up the trip by exploring Tohoku on the way. That's what I did. I stopped off in Matsushima, which is a beautiful bay with hundreds of tiny islands, and Hakodate to see one of Japan's top 3 night views. That one lasts for 6 days for 35,000 yen, and given that a one-way ticket between Tokyo and Sapporo is 29,150 yen alone, it's easy to make this one pay off. Next, if you're just exploring Tohoku without Hokkaido, the JR East Pass Tohoku area is 30,000 yen for 5 days. That one also includes Tokyo, so it's everything you need to explore the northern or eastern part of Honshu, the main island. Now, if you're doing the popular popular golden route of Tokyo, Kyoto and Osaka, sadly there are no regional passes that cover all of that. You're better off buying individual tickets on Smart EX. But there is another option, the Hokuriku Arch Pass. That takes an alternate route between Tokyo and Kyoto and Osaka, going through Nagano and Toyama in the Japanese Alps, Kanazawa, which is known as Little Kyoto. It's really beautiful and historic but less crowded. Fukui, which is known for dinosaurs and has an excellent dinosaur museum, ending in Osaka and Kyoto. The point about this one is it doesn't include the direct shinkansen between Tokyo and Osaka, so you will need an individual ticket for that one on the way back, or you could go back and forth along the Arch route, stopping off at different places on the way. That one is 30,000 yen for 7 days. Next is a pass I used last year, the Northern Kyushu Pass. That includes Fukuoka, Nagasaki, Beppu for the Beppu Hells and Onsen, Kumamoto for the castle and our friend Kumamon, and Mount Aso and the national park around there. If you also want to go to Kagoshima and Sakurajima, the volcano, there is a pass for the whole of Kyushu as well, and there's a pass just for the southern part if you're staying in Kumamoto and want to go to Kagoshima and Miyazaki Prefecture for beautiful Takachiho Gorge. There are various options for 3, 5 or 7 days, so it's really flexible. I'd really recommend going to Kyushu. There are so many interesting places there. There's a playlist on my channel with lots of ideas. There's also a pass that includes the northern Kyushu area and the western part of Honshu, right up to Kyoto and Osaka. That's the Sanyo San-in Northern Kyushu Pass. That one's 26,000 yen for 7 days. Next, the Setouchi Area Pass includes the bottom part of the JR West area around the Seto Inland Sea. So that includes Osaka, Kyoto, Okayama for beautiful Kurashiki, Hiroshima, Yamaguchi and Fukuoka, and parts of Shikoku. Lots of really interesting places. That one's 22,000 yen for 7 days. On my next trip this year, I'll be going to central Japan and using the Alpine Takayama Matsumoto Area Pass, which is 23,800 yen for 5 days. That includes Nagoya, where the excellent train museum is, and the Ghibli Park, Gero Onsen, historic Takayama. You can go on a day trip by bus to the historic village of Shirakawa-go, Matsumoto, which has a castle and a wasabi farm, and the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine route through the mountains and snow walls. I can't wait. So if you have any tips for those places, let me know in the comments. There is another version of that pass that doesn't include the Alpine route. That one does include Osaka and Kyoto, as well as Kanazawa, which is Little Kyoto, and Fukui with the dinosaurs. That's called the Takayama Hokuriku Area Tourist Pass. It's 19,800 yen for 5 days. And finally, a pass for if you're in Tokyo and want to go on some big day trips or an overnight side trip. The Tokyo Wide Pass is 15,000 yen for 3 days. Be careful because this one doesn't always pay off. If you're just going to Mount Fuji and Yokohama and Kamakura, it won't be worth it. But if you're doing 2 bigger, pricier day trips like Kusatsu Onsen, Kuruizawa or Shimoda on the Izu Peninsula, it could save you money. You can also use it to go to Nikko on the Shinkansen, but if you're not doing enough other big day trips, Tobu Railways is a better option for that. Now, there are agents that sell regional passes online. I prefer to buy them directly from Japan Railways just because then there are no middlemen. You're going straight to the official site. So, for example, I bought my Kyushu pass online from the JR Kyushu website and collected it at the ticket office in Japan. Some of the passes may be slightly cheaper if you buy them before you go to Japan, and I think it's best to get it sorted before you fly. Just like the JR pass for the whole of Japan, when you pick it up, you can choose when you want it to start. It doesn't have to be the day you pick it up. Or for some of the passes, they activate when you use them first. So when you scan them at the ticket gates, that's day 1. So then you can jump on any train you want to that's covered by the pass, or if you want to, you can make seat reservations. You can do that by going to the counter at a JR ticket office at the station, or a ticket machine. For regional passes from JR East or Hokkaido, you also have the option to reserve seats online on the JR East website. You can reserve a month in advance. I'd recommend doing this if you're going to the Sapporo Snow Festival. There are lots of people travelling to Hokkaido at that time, so those trains will be busy. Here's how to make seat reservations at the ticket machine. First, you need to find a seat reservation machine in the Japan Railways section of the station. Just follow signs towards the JR lines and you'll find it. As with most ticket machines, there's a button in the top corner to change the language to English. It's really tempting to press the Japan Rail Pass button, but that's only for JR passes for the whole of Japan. If you have a regional pass, you need to press seat reservation with coupon ticket. If you're in the JR East area or Hokkaido, this first step's slightly different. You still want to avoid that Japan Rail Pass button. Instead, press reserved seat, then reserve seat with discounted ticket. Now let's carry on. Next, insert your rail passes one after the other for all members of your party, up to a maximum of 4 people. Then press all tickets inserted. Then enter the details of your journey. First, the departure station. Be careful when you're typing because the results will pop up before you finish typing the whole word. Then the arrival station. Then the date and time you want to travel. It defaults to now, but you can reserve for a different day. So you could do them all at the start of your trip if you want to. It'll show you the options for different trains you could take. If you've been looking at train times on Japan Travel by Navitime or Google, I think it helps to make a note of the train number just to make sure you're booking exactly the right one. So in this example, it's the Kamome 64. Other Kamome trains the same day have different numbers, and that number will also be on signs around the station and on the platform. Next, choose your seat. There's an option to reserve a seat with extra space for baggage. All the details about that are in my video about travelling with luggage. We didn't need that this time, so we picked ordinary seat. A green circle means that seat's available. Generally in Japan, it's circles for yes, crosses for no. You can either choose a seat or let it pick one for you. It's really good that it tells you which carriage is the least occupied. You can pick any seat with a green circle, and there's an arrow to show which is the front of the train. This journey involves 2 trains, so we'll just do that again for the second one. Press confirm and it'll print out your reservation cards. It gives them to you together with your rail passes. This pass has a limited number of seat reservations included, so it's printed a little star to show that another one's been used. Earlier that day, in the morning, I tried to make a seat reservation for the way there, but all the seats were fully booked, so I had to go in the unreserved car. But later on, for the last train of the day, there were plenty of seats available. It's a really similar process to buying tickets at the ticket machine. You just put in your rail pass instead of money. It is quite straightforward. The point to remember is, at the start, don't press Japan Rail Pass, press seat reservation with coupon ticket. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I hope a regional pass will save you a bit of money on your Japan trip and give you some ideas for places to visit. It can be good to really explore a specific region and see all the places there are to go rather than hopping around the whole country, spending only a day or 2 in each area. But everyone's different, everyone has a different style of travelling. Tell me in the comments if you've used a regional pass, and I'll see you next week with more Japan videos on Thursday.